Hey everyone, and welcome back to Arrowhead Junction. I'm Freshpopcorn, your host for this episode, and we're back for what's going to be episode 11 of the collaboration between myself, FluxTrance, and Strict Toaster. A lot of progress has been made since the last time I visited with you guys, and it's really incredible to see. So obviously you've seen Flux and Strict's episodes, and they've really done some amazing work that I really can't wait to go over with you, but also maybe do some tweaking as well. So what have we got? We have plenty. So I think the first thing I would like to go over, because I did take a little peek at some stuff, and Strict took my little semi-truck business over here and added this, which I love. The flags and the blow-up dude is amazing. So it just looks like one of those like horrible like roadside, highway side businesses. It's really cool. So I think it just brings all of like Zamora together. It's really cool to see. A couple things over here though. We're missing, I know Bisquagglehausen upgraded a lot of his train cars, so we are missing a couple things here. So I just want to go in and replace some of the engines, and he actually made some Arrowhead and Western engine cars. So I think this is it. Yeah, that's beautiful. So we can go in and maybe plop some of them down on the front of this like so before we move forward to other parts of the map. But oh, they're so beautiful. And I think that's all Strict had here. But what we could do, we could even park a couple down here as if they've been like, you know, stored down here for a little bit. So we'll just put two there, and they would probably back them out if they ever needed to. I mean, we could even throw a couple other ones. What do we have over here? We have Cedar Valley Northern, we have Colossal Systems, and we have Gramercy Southern. Actually, I'm going to throw one of these in there. So this is Bisquagglehausen's city that he's been building and showing to me on Skype. So I'm going to throw a couple of those in here. Do a little shout out to him. So just wanted to add that little detail. And now we can go take a look at what Strict has left us, which is amazing. This water reclamation plant is really gorgeous. It's so impressive how shallow he made the water. He did a really good job. But obviously you've seen this in his episode, so we don't need to. I don't want to touch anything here because it's beautiful. So we're just gonna leave it. And Flux left us with this, which is really nice. This is a Flux interchange. You can see it's night and day for sure. And this little like crazy man scrapyard he left us is so cool with the train props down here and everything, and the little campsite. He's so talented. It's really crazy, guys. But one thing that I'm not quite a huge fan of is the tunnel for the rail here. So I just want to, well, I'm just going to delete it because I don't think it makes any sense. Actually, we really don't have to delete it because we have we have a fine road tool. So why don't we go and grab our 2-lane highway and just force it to be an elevated piece. So we can do this and do that here. And then I think I want to force this tunnel to be ground in the rail. I just think it makes way more sense. I don't like to think that they would do tunnels unless they absolutely had to. So we can do this, force ground, and one more piece down there, and then we could just drag the whole thing together. Perfect. And then you get the multi-layer interchange, which I think is really cool. So we do have to fix a couple things though. For example, all of these bushes that are now on top of the rail line we can just get rid of, and we'll just redetail this later. And then this looks good, although the slope is a little bit steep. Surprise! I mean, it's not. I mean, it's fine by any means, but it could be a little bit more gradual. So I'm actually going to leave some of these really close trees to the rail line. I'm actually kind of a fan of that. So we can see here there's like a random dip. So we'll just kind of try and grab one of these points here with move it if we can. And we'll lower this a little bit. We can maybe grab this guy, raise him up. And don't want to go too crazy though. So we'll probably, there we go, that's better. Fix that guy, make him nice and perfect. Fix this guy, and then probably dip this a little bit just so it's like super gradual. Same thing here. And then we'll try and fix it right there. Yeah, I think that's just a little bit better. Obviously, it was totally fine, but just me being really picky. And then once again on the other side, an even more gradual dip, I think, makes a ton of sense. I don't know. I think if like you zoom in on these parts, it's hard to even notice when you're building from certain angles. So like, I know in San Minato all the time, like I'm just like I have curves that I'm just like, oh my god, like that's horrible. Why did I leave it like that? So the nice thing about this series is that we can all kind of pat each other on the back and like kind of fix here, like little things here and there that we all kind of left behind. So last thing is this pillar, which we can just grab and just move out of the way. And I love that mod just for that reason. Yeah, I think that looks a lot nicer, but we actually don't really even need to have all of that elevated anymore. So we could go and grab our fine road tool again, force ground construction. And let's see what this does for us. That might bring yeah, it brings it really close. Although not bad. I might see if I can do some detailing around that with some bushes, but that's really close. So what we can do is make a node like so. And then what we'll do is upgrade this to elevated and then delete our little random connection and do the same thing over here as well. Just so it's perfect. Do that. We'll upgrade this and then get rid of our connection. Beautiful, beautiful, much better. So what I'm going to do this episode is actually do, it looks like Flux laid out what he wants to be these main avenues, and this is, I'm assuming, my reference point for the grid that I've created from Lone. So what I'm going to do is actually drag this road over, make another bridge, I think, over our river here. Somehow what Flux did, and then I'm going to do another connection to our highway. So like maybe like 2 intersections will service what is going to be the larger portion of the Arrowhead village or whatever we're going to call it. So let me see if I can get something going here for that. Okay, so I did a little cut there, and this is what I have come up with. Now, I don't really know how we're going to set up this grid, but I know Strict really wants our grid in the city, or not the city, but our town to match the grid that's set up by this road here. So this is our reference point for that, this X right here. So I think it'd be cool to kind of break that grid for like where the point is over here, and then have our like bigger grid go this way lined up with the roads over here. So I did set that up. We do have a clover leaf over here. I didn't think it was necessary to have a huge like interchange over here, so it's just very simple. Pretty smooth. A couple things actually don't really like about it right now is this. So we can fix that, which is much better. But yeah, you can see like the whole thing kind of flows really nicely. It's not like a perfectly symmetrical clover leaf, which I'm a huge fan of actually. And then I did extend like a little road over here. I have a couple of plans that I would like to kind of try out for this episode now. I want to get the grid laid out, but I also want to do like a little farming area, which I know sounds kind of like weird, but it seems like in these valleys, in the desert, especially like New Mexico area south of Albuquerque, there is like a lot of farms that are kind of like set up right along the river. I don't know if that's because of the proximity to water and whatever, but apparently the land is excellent for farming from what Google is telling me right now. But before we get there, I do want to kind of continue with this grid that I started here. So I'm thinking we should definitely keep like the same style for this area, like larger, more straight, perfect grids, as if it was how you'd kind of see it out west. But I don't really want to put them too close together here. But in order to break up the monotony, we could kind of do a little bit of work doing stuff like this. But I know. I don't know if the guys will be happy about actually leaving a space. Well, no, we should definitely make it like super tight. Makes more sense that way, especially because this is supposed to be like a little bit of a denser development area. So we could do one of these, and then we can kind of break it off here, I think is fine. And try and just get an interesting situation going here that's not like total monotony, but at the same time still pretty rigid, if that makes any sense. But we can kind of break that grid that way. And now this way we could probably do a few like this. And then we'll obviously change the types of road, of course. But I do like the way that this looks, to be honest. We can go maybe do one of these and do one curve to follow the other one in. If we can kind of make that obey, which it seems like it will. And we could drag that guy. If we can get it to 90, that would be beautiful. There we go. Perfect. I really like how that looks, actually. And then over here, I thought it'd be cool to maybe we could extend this guy here and connect it. And we could kind of do something out this way as well. Okay, so this is what I came up with. The grid runs this way with this avenue here. Our main grid is actually here, so like it'll connect better across like this area that's formed inside the river here. But I thought for this little point over here, it'd be cool to kind of have our own little grid. We have a couple of roads that run like down along the river here, and then over here I have this like really squiggly road, which I might like turn into like maybe like a little town park thing where they're like trying to encourage like you to go like check out stuff. I don't know. I get really reminded of like Texas kind of when we had these windy roads that kind of, you know, you would drive through. Like I think of like McKinney Falls State Park where we stayed. You could kind of make your way through like these really windy roads, and you could see like you'd see different variations of like brush and like low trees, kind of like this. So that's kind of what it reminded me of. But anyways, what I want to do is start zoning out the beginnings of the Arrowhead. I don't want to say city, but the beginnings of what's going to be a big part of the map. So this is all going to be commercial here, I would assume. I don't know what we have for high density, so I might just leave it low for now. Maybe we can replace it later, but I think it makes sense to have it all along here by the rail as well. But basically everywhere, I'm gonna go and try and do a lot of low density residential, similar to what Strict kind of has done in Zamora with like the big flat houses. Hopefully we can kind of force those to spawn here. But what we'll do is drag all this out, and let's see if we can even do it over here as well. Now I did break the grid up in some spots, so it's like not completely the same thing over and over. Like over here, that's kind of just like how it ends. But obviously, you never know what's going to like become, like what's going to grow when you zone like this. You just kind of see what happens and you detail around it. So hopefully we can kind of get some decent density going here, but like also kind of keep it unique as well. We can kind of zone like certain areas of it. Maybe this whole curve right here, but kind of do some stuff like this. Break it up a little bit. Try and make it a little bit different in some of these spots. And then over here, try and do, maybe break it up a slight bit over here, but not much. I still want to keep that density over in this area. Could even try something like that, because I want to do like an opening in the middle of this lot, I think. Unless Flux and Strict want to fill it in, then by all means. And then these will go all out here, and we'll go all out over here. So I'm really pumped to see what happens with this, because I haven't really tried any large-scale building yet on this save. So what I might do is, you know what, just fill these out for now, and then just see what happens, and then edit it later. So at least we have a rough idea of what's going to happen now. And I do want to have some trailer homes along this area as well. So hopefully we can kind of get some of that to spawn here along the river as well. Let's see if I could just get a couple of these zoned in down here. Kind of like what Strict did over in Zamora again, with that little trailer that's kind of like down by the river. So could throw some of these in here, and maybe some bigger ones, and then small. And something like that, I think, would be fine. So we'll do something like that. And then over here, I was thinking we could probably actually have like some old industry up at this point. So I'm going to leave that for now. But over here, we can also go ahead and do... We do actually need a train station in this area, though, like a passenger line. So maybe we could do that really quick as well before. What I want to do is time-lapse the growth and detailing, basically. So let's see if we can go find our train, like a passenger station. So we have the 2-track here, which we don't need anything that big. You know, we just need like a basic train station, which we have the vanilla one, but we don't have like a really small rural one, which is odd. So actually really like that. If I can get it on a road that is in this area here. That's actually the same train station I'm using in San Miniato. Well, that I was using in San Miniato. I know I was planning on switching it out. I don't know if I have or have not yet by the time this episode is being released, but gotta go one more unit over. So we can kind of go like so. And then we can toss them in here. Perfect. And then grab our rail line and just boom and boom. Perfect. So now it's resting on this road here. Connect them like that. Connect them like that. Perfect. We can even do like some sort of weird plaza here if we can figure something out. But for now, I want to start this simulation and even start to maybe detail some things. We could actually probably put down a couple Rico buildings before we get started. So I'm thinking, like, I really like this mall. So I'm actually going to put this here for now so don't forget about it. But like, obviously, our fast food situations. And I do want to, actually, before I forget, because I don't know what Flux and Strict are going to do with this land here, but I do want to have like a strip of car dealerships and box stores like on this strip here. So maybe I can remember. Ooh, that actually fits. That actually fits pretty nice. Whatever that is there, this at home actually fits super nicely right there. Although the corner does poke out a little bit down here, but that's okay because we have the beautiful power of move it, and we can just safely maneuver it away. It's pretty close to the rail tracks though that way. So we gotta find a happy medium here. Maybe I can actually move it closer to the road and do something like that. Perfect. Beautiful. I love that mod. And then I do want to see how the car dealerships fit. Like I wanted to have like the big chains of stuff over here. So maybe we can make that happen. I don't know where the other car dealerships are though. All right. I'm checking back in with you guys. So this is what has kind of spawned from everything, and I realized like how much space we've taken up. Like that's like the size of Zamora, like taken up in one episode. So I'm really pressed for time. Basically, to put it in very simple terms, I've gotten this save game from Flux, and I've had like 24 hours to make this, and I have to go out of town for work. So I've basically been working on this for like 3-4 hours straight to get off to Strict, and I've just done like San Miniato work, so I'm so like I don't want to detail because I honestly feel like my creative flow is just like totally stalled because I'm incredibly tired. But enough about the details of my life. Basically, I think it'd be really fun to give Strict this and see how him and Flux afterward detail it. So similar to the last time, like I detailed Zamora over here, we can actually have them go in and start detailing this, which is a huge amount of progress that we've made so far. So it'll be really interesting to see what they come up with. So with that being said, there's one thing I would like to look at though, because I can't just leave empty-handed here. I want to build up this area in front of the train station in more of like a plaza type deal. So if there's one thing that I get to detail today, it'll be this. But I think we could actually do it with some of these surface painter tools and then also kind of roughen it up a little bit with some decals as well, because I am feeling a little bit inspired to kind of get this taken care of. So the only other thing I can think of that would really fit well here is parking. So we should probably de-zone and then go ahead and do some parking as well. So let me see if I can just find what we have here. Like this works pretty good for me. So I could do maybe 1 and 2 on either side. And I honestly think that that is more than sufficient for the size of what this train station is supposed to be. So go ahead and do a little bit of pavement there. And we can just kind of break it up a little bit on the outsides. So the only thing I really wanted to do was kind of make it like there's no businesses here, and this train station is like slowly being renovated perhaps. So we can go in here and grab our big decals, which are awesome for stuff like this, and just roughen up the edges a little bit. Gotta do something like this, and we'll obviously fence this off to make it really pop. We'll do this, and we'll do something like this. It's really interesting, like the effect you get when you just like play with these tools. So actually, if you're like detailing big areas like this, it's like kind of like you hit a wall sometimes where there's like nothing else you could possibly do to detail things like differently. So actually, like just twisting the decals around is actually, I've found to be extremely helpful in doing that. Grab some fences here. And I really actually was thinking about the wood. So we could probably try and pull one of these off, which is... Actually, you know what? We could probably pull some of these off, to be honest. Let's put it on fence mode. And see if we can't match up just right about there. And then same thing over here as well. And the last one. Perfect. So we have a nice fence around the whole thing. I did lose some of my decals though, because I had to delete some things. So we'll go replace those. Next we'll go in and just use these shady bushes, which I really, really enjoy when they are mixed with these short palms. I've always just been a huge fan of the contrast for some reason. So you can do like little grown, like overgrown areas of them. And then we could even throw in the tall grass around the outsides of it. And then even grab our best friend, the gula grass here, and just kind of even it out just a little bit, but try and keep it slightly tasteful if we can. These rocks are actually pretty nice. Ooh, that's a big one. I kind of like that. Kind of fit that one, like, maybe over here. Do we have a spot for it? We do. I like it. We'll just cover up the other one there, because I don't feel like deleting the other one. Hopefully Strict didn't see that. But we could do something like that. And then honestly, like I'm actually pretty pleased with how that looks. The only thing that I'm kind of questioning right now is how much space is just kind of empty in the middle. But that shouldn't be a problem to take care of with a little bit of detailing here. But I want to leave that for Strict. I just wanted to kind of at least do something so I can kind of walk out of this with my head held high. So, but Strict and Flux have been really supportive. I explained my situation, and totally they were like completely on board with like whatever we needed to do to make sure that this our schedule keeps up for you guys and stuff. So it's been really, really awesome not having to worry about that. So anyways, gonna leave you with some cinematics of the stuff we did accomplish today. Hope you enjoyed designing the beginnings of Arrowhead Village with me. Eventually going to turn into a very large town, and the junction is just going to be amazing. Strict and Flux and I have been talking about it in Skype calls, and it's going to be like super incredible. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. You're definitely going to want to subscribe to, of course, myself and Flux and Strict. I don't know how you haven't subscribed to them if you're not subscribed to me, but you're definitely going to want to come hang out for the rest of this, because it's really becoming really exciting. But other than that, guys, I'm pretty much burnt out right now. So go ahead, follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, and Twitch, all Freshpopcorn YT. This is Freshpopcorn signing off, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.